is the system that enables us breathe. The act of breathing includes inhaling and exhaling air in the body, the absorption of oxygen from the air in order to produce energy, and the discharge of carbon dioxide, which is the byproduct of the process. The respiratory system is divided into two parts. The upper respiratory tract. This includes the nose, mouth, and the beginning of the trachea. This is the section that takes air in and lets it out. And the lower respiratory tract, which includes the trachea, the bronchi, the bronchiole, and the lungs. The act of breathing takes place in this part of the system. Breathing in air through the nose or mouth is the start of inhalation process. Then it travels down into the pharynx and larynx where primary filtration is done. Then it enters into the trachea where further filtration is done. After which, it enters into the left and right bronchi, then it passes through the bronchioles and finally enters into the alveoli where the absorption of oxygen takes place and the diffusion of oxygen to the blood capillaries. During inhalation, the rib cage moves up and out and the diaphragm contacts and pattern.
Exhalation flows out from the alveolus, then it enters into the bronchiole and then into the bronchus. Then it enters into the trachea and finally flows out to the nasal cavity. Exhalation takes longer than inhalation because it is believed to facilitate better in exchange of gas. And during exhalation, the diaphragm are no longer contracting, they are relaxed and the ribs descends and the diaphragm curves and rises. The parts of the circulatory system includes the four chambers of the heart, the right atrium, the right ventricle, the left atrium, and the left ventricle. It is in charge of pumping the blood. The valves are the tricuspid valve, pulmonary valve, bicuspid valve, and the aortic valve, which is in charge of preventing the blood to flow back. The superior and inferior vena cava, pulmonary arteries, and the pulmonary veins are the passage area of the blood. The ascending and descending aorta distributes blood throughout the body. As you can see in the diagram, the circulation of blood through the heart starts with the blood passing through the superior and inferior vena cava in entering into the right atrium. Then passing through the tricuspid valve, it enters the right ventricle. Then passing through the pulmonary valve, it enters into the pulmonary artery. Then the blood goes to the lungs in order to absorb oxygen. Then the oxygenated blood enters through the pulmonary veins into the left atrium. Then it passes through the bicuspid valve, it enters into the left ventricle. Then it passes through the aortic valve and finally enters the aorta, where blood is distributed throughout the body. According to hard data, 5 harmful habits herald the coming of disease. These 5 are smoking, being inactive, carrying too many pounds, eating poorly, and drinking too much alcohol. And the damage they cause isn't limited to the cardiovascular system, but extends to the kidneys, bones, and brain.
All too often, the end result of these habits is a heart attack, stroke, peripheral artery disease, valve problem, aortic aneurysm, or heart failure. Cardiovascular disease includes a number of conditions affecting the structures or function of the heart. They include
Coronary artery disease or the narrowing of the arteries, heart attack, abnormal heart rhythms or arrhythmias, heart failure, heart valve disease, congenital heart disease, heart muscle disease or cardiomyopathy, pericardial disease, aorta disease and Marfan syndrome, and vascular disease or the blood vessel disease. That's all, and thank you for watching.
Subscribe to my channel and see you again next time.